awesome.
Hey, what's up everyone? This is Eli from checkit.com here with an After Effects tutorial on Malicious Monday, Magnificent Monday. I don't know what we call Mondays, but anyway guys, this tutorial was originally filmed on Friday twice, then on Saturday once, and then yeah, I pretty much gave up and I was really upset. Camtasia pretty much took a poo this weekend, and this is my 4th time filming this, so you guys better give it a like, because oh my goodness, so much work went into this, and also it helps out so much. Also, don't forget to leave a comment, because I leave all my favorite comments at the end of the video. And go to checkit.com/downloads to download the project files for this tutorial. And guess what it is, guys? It's creating that intro you guys love so much right here. Boom. It's actually, we did the first part, the animation, last week on Wednesday, I think. But today's tutorial is about the zooms, the blur, and the slight flare animation, just making it look awesome. And this can be applied to anything, making your Cinema 4D intros look amazing. So yeah, with that guys, make sure you download it, leave a like, and leave a comment. And with that, let's get started. So this is the original thing that Shravit sent me. I'm going to be using this as the thing that I'm editing. With that, let's go into After Effects. Let's double click on the side area and find the animation right here. Okay. And it's already 1080p, and if you guys rendered it from last week, the project files that I gave you, you guys can just put that in, but I'm going to be using this one. I'm going to drag it down to this create a new composition icon, and now we can rename this first. Let's hit enter and just name it main, just so we don't have some long name down here, because we don't like them long, am I right, ladies? No, okay, so anyway guys, now we can get started. So the first thing we want to do is we want to make this layer a 3D layer. So let's hit F4 twice to bring up the 3D options right here. Click this 3D box, and now it's a 3D layer. So now we can right click in this blank canvas area, go to new camera, and let's just name this camera because it annoys me so much when it's camera 1. And we want the angle of view to be 76 and the film size to be 36. Hit OK. And now we can drop this down and start animating our camera. So let's keyframe that zoom. Let's go to the camera options, and here's the zoom right here. And we need to set some keyframes. So around 20 seconds the animation starts happening. So let's have the zoom happen right there. So click a keyframe, maybe drag it a little bit back. Now we'll go to about right here, and we'll have it zoom into around 2000. Yeah, we want it a major zoom, a lot happening, you know. So now let's make this keyframe an easy ease keyframe by hitting F9, but I can't do that because it might stop the recording. So let's go to keyframe assistant, easy ease, but you guys can hit F9. Alright, and now let's go to the end and just have it zoom back out. And we're going to be coming back into this and, you know, tweaking this to get it perfect. But let's actually zoom in a little more, maybe around right there. Maybe a little bit further out. Right about there. Okay, cool. So now what we want to do is we want to create that shaking effect that you guys saw in the intro. It's pretty crazy. It makes it look like the camera is real and such. So let's do that. Let's go Control or Command Shift Alt Y to create a new null object. And let's rename it by hitting Enter. And let's just call it Control. And there's a reason why we want to call it Control, because we want to go to the effects and presets and type in Control as well. Let's find a slider controller. Drag and drop it onto our control layer. And now let's duplicate this control right here by hitting Controller Command D. And let's just rename the first one Freak, because it's a freak. No, because we want to animate the frequency. And then the second one we'll hit Enter and call it Amp for amplitude. And this will make a lot more sense in a second. And if you guys have been following along with our tutorials for a while, you'll know that I've actually done a tutorial about animating expressions already. So if you guys want to go a few tutorials back, you'll see it if you want to go more in detail and such. But I'll teach you exactly what you need to know right now. So let's go to the camera position and hold Alt and click on the keyframe right here, this little stopwatch. And we want to type in a very simple expression called wiggle, parenthesis. We'll just put in 0, 0, end parenthesis. And now we want to click on Control, so we have these options open. Highlight the 0, the first 0 right here. Pick whip or parent this first one, that's the frequency, to the frequency slider on the null object. We'll do the same thing. The second one is the amplitude. We'll parent it to the amplitude slider on the control layer. And now we can animate the expression. So let's drop down these options, drop down the effects, and we'll find our frequency and amplitude sliders right here. We'll go forward. Let's actually close up the transform option so we can see the keyframes. All right, now let's drag to where it first starts. And we'll just create keyframes for both the frequency and the amplitude. Now we'll go forward and we'll make the frequency at 2 and the amplitude at 450. This will just give us a crazy amount. So let's highlight both of these and make both of these easy ease. So you guys can just hit F9, but I have to go into the keyframe assistant. All right, and then around, what, 3 seconds, let's click off of it, and the amplitude slider, we want to bring that down to 10. And then it should zoom out all the way. Perfect. And now I'm going to hit 0 just to show you guys what we created. Alright guys, check it out. So now from here, we can, tweak the points. So let's drag these out a little more. Both of these, cool. Now let's hit 0 again just to see what we did here. So I like a kind of more calm look to it. Cool, I like that a lot. It's not too interesting right now, so let's go to the camera options, drop down the transform options, and you'll see the point of interest. So let's get this more crazy by hitting the keyframe right here, and then when it zooms in, let's just mess with the point of interest. Let's go a little bit left. Let's drag it down by increasing that one. Cool. Oh, sweet. So now the point of interest just adds a whole nother dynamic. And now when it zooms all the way out, we need to fix the point of interest. So let's actually grab this original keyframe, hit Control-C to copy it, and then go to the very end and hit Control-V to paste it. Alright. And now we just want to make sure that there isn't any black bars because we did zoom in a lot. Alright, so it starts out okay, boom, zooms in. It's all crazy. I don't see any black bars, so perfect. So that's pretty much our basic animation, guys. Good job. Now what we want to do is we want to add in some blur to make it more real, like the camera is actually being held by someone that couldn't focus it. So let's go Control or Command Alt Y to create a new adjustment layer. Let's click on the adjustment layer, hit Enter, and we'll just call this one Blur. Alright. And we'll do that same command again, Control or Command Alt Y, and we'll name the second one CC for color correction. Let's click on Blur, go over to our effects and presets and type in Blur. And the best looking blur is the camera lens blur, of course, but it's very processor intensive, so I'm actually just going to use a fast blur. I'm going to drag and drop it on the blur. Alright, now let's animate this. So when it zooms in, when it gets all the way in, I want it to animate. So boom, let's create a keyframe, go forward, bring the blur up to around 40, and then go forward, have it go back down to 0, and let's actually hit repeat edge pixel so we don't get some weird halo effect going on the outside. Alright, cool. Now let's create another keyframe. Let's actually drop this down so we can see what we're doing. Go to our effects, drop down the fast blur. There's our keyframes. Maybe drag these back a little bit. Cool. Let's create another keyframe by hitting this diamond over here, and we'll make it go all the way to around 40 once again. Have it slowly come out. And let's drag these a little bit differently. Boom. Drag these to the left. Drag these over as well. Maybe not too much. Right about there should be good. And maybe make both of these end keyframes easy ease. Keyframe assistant, F9. F9's a way better way of doing it, but yeah. So easy ease once again. Alright, let's hit 0 and see what we created. Alright, so I see some issues. This blur needs to happen a little earlier, and let's drop down both of these again. We actually needed to zoom in more because we see some black bars in our animation. Alright, cool. And also maybe have the animation happen a little later. Cool. Now let's hit 0 once again. Like I said, guys, we really needed to tweak a lot of this. This is a lot of trial and error, so just keep that in mind when you're making this. Take your time, and just have fun with it, really. Well, that looks pretty cool. And maybe our animation here, where is it? The control. Let's mess with this a little bit too. I'm just going to mess with these values until I get something that I like, guys. So I'll bring you guys back in a second. Alright guys, welcome back. Here's the animation that I found out that I love. And the settings that I decided to use are, for fast blur, I kind of made right at the animation I made it go completely blurry and then slowly fade out. And towards the end I just put another blur in, and it's not as long as I'd had it before. As for the controller, make sure that your frequency slider doesn't have any easy ease because it makes it look really strange. And everything else had easy ease on it. I'm going to drag this down and show you guys what else I did. The point of interest stayed the same, and the zoom stayed the same. A lot of you guys probably were able to follow along with that because I'm going to make this in fast forward. So yeah, I guess we can get to the last parts of the tutorial. Instead of doing color correction before flares, I'll do flares right now. So let's go Control or Command Y to create a new solid. Let's name this flare. Make sure it's black. Alright, because we like them black, right ladies? Goodness gracious, 2 of those stupid jokes. Alright, now go over to your effects and presets, type in flare. We just want optical flares, of course. And now while optical flares is opening, let's click on the flare, hit F4, and make the blending mode for it add. And then we'll go up to optical flares and change the source type from 2D to 3D. And also the render mode from on black to transparent, just in case. And then let's go up to the options. And I'm just going to use flares that I know I like. So let's drag this down, go to Pro Presets. Actually, I think it's in Pro Presets. Well, let's drag it down. There it is, Winter Aurora. And I'm going to be putting it up in this right-hand corner. So I'm going to go down here and get rid of this middle bleed right here. I really don't like it. Okay. And now let's grab the flare by clicking on this, dragging this up to this corner like I said I was going to do. Cool, now let's put the timeline indicator all the way to the left. Animate this by clicking on the keyframe, going all the way to the end, and just pushing it out and to the right. Cool. And now we can duplicate this layer by going Controller Command D. And let's rename this flare so we don't get confused. Let's name it Flare 2. Drop this down, drop this one down, and go into the optical flares options. Delete these keyframes. And the reason why I did that is just because it's a lot faster than having to go through it all again. Alright, now let's go find another flare that we like. And I already know that I really like... Where is it? Mini Anamorphic. I think that one looks awesome. Now let's grab it, put it over where I put the first one. That's too visible. Let's go all the way to the left. Yeah, that's too much. It's too visible. Alright, right there is cool. Alright, hit the keyframe. Now let's go all the way to the end of the video and just animate it down and to the left a little bit so it slowly goes away. Awesome. And with that, now we can do the color correction. So let's go to the CC and just drag it to the very top. And I used Magic Bullet Looks in the original intro. You guys don't have to use that. I'm actually going to use Magic Bullet Mojos just so this one looks different. Drag and drop it onto CC. Let's drag this up and just mojo this thing up. I love mojo. It's more, I want to warm the crap out of it. They punch it a tidbit. And look at that. Makes it look very interesting and nothing like the original intro. Very cool. Maybe make the flares above. And let's just, that's looking a lot like the original. Let's put it back under. That looks pretty cool. Alright, so the last thing we want to do before we render it is we want to enable motion blur on all this project. It just ties everything together and makes it look realistic. So let's hit F4. You notice this bouncing ball. So everything that we want blur to be applied to, let's do the flares and also the main layer. Now doing that is just not enough. We also need to click the ball up here, and that just enables motion blur on everything. And why we want motion blur is when it zooms in, watch this. Look at that. You can just tell that it makes it look so much more realistic. Make sure that we like the ending picture. And I think that looks pretty awesome, except maybe we want to animate it over just a little bit to get that final shot more center. So let's go to the point of interest and just select the ending one. And drag it to the left. Alright, perfect. Let's go back over. Now let's drag this one a little bit to the right so it doesn't get confused. Alright, cool. And with that, guys, we should be done now. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I really hope you guys learned something. And I guess I'll just render this now. So you guys can hit Controller Command M, but since I'm recording, I have to go up to Add to Render Queue. And let's go to Lossless. And you guys can make whatever you want. The Windows Media makes it smaller, but I'm just going to use H.264. Okay, check it animation. Let's rename it. Let's just make it check it intro super HD sexy. Okay, save, render, and boom. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I really hope that you guys were able to take something from this. This tutorial was basically just to give you guys the tools to be able to create the intro that you guys love so much. But don't forget to actually ask Shravit to do some work for you guys. He was kind of worried that since I'm giving away all the secrets that you guys would not like hire him or anything like that. You guys should give him a try. He's a long-time fan of Check It, subscriber. He's a great friend. And he's actually really good at what he does. So I'll put a link in the description to his Facebook so you guys can go talk to him. He's awesome. And with that, guys, I think I'll just see you guys on the next tutorial. Thanks so much. Peace.
Awesome.